Ever been in a situation where everything is going haywire? Your heart's pounding, your mind's racing, and everyone around you is in a full-blown panic. It feels like the world is collapsing. But what if, in that moment of chaos, you could be the calm center of the storm? What if you could execute with cold, hard precision while everyone else is losing their minds? Today, we're going to unlock that superpower. This isn't about being emotionless or robotic. It is about mastering your internal state so you can think clearly and act decisively when it matters most. So how do we do it? The first step is to understand what happens to our brains during a panic. When we perceive a threat, our amygdala, the brain's alarm system, goes into overdrive. It floods our system with stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. This is our ancient fight-or-flight response. It's great if you're running from a saber-toothed tiger, but not so great when you're facing a looming project deadline or a heated argument. This response hijacks our prefrontal cortex, the part of our brain responsible for rational thought, planning, and decision-making. Suddenly, we can't think straight, we just react. The key to staying calm is to short-circuit this panic response before it takes over. And the fastest way to do that is through your breath. I know, it sounds almost too simple, but the science is solid. When we're panicked, our breathing becomes shallow and rapid. By intentionally slowing down your breath, you send a powerful signal to your brain that the danger has passed. It tells your nervous system to switch from red alert back to all clear. One of the most effective techniques is the box breath, used by Navy SEALs and elite athletes to stay calm under extreme pressure. It's simple. Inhale for a count of 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. Let's try it right now. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Even just a few rounds of this can dramatically lower your heart rate and clear your mind. It's your emergency brake for a runaway brain. Once you've got your breathing under control, the next step is to ground yourself in the present moment. Panic often pulls us into a whirlpool of what-ifs and worst-case scenarios. Our minds are in the future, imagining every possible disaster. We need to pull our attention back to right here, right now. A great technique for this is the 5-4-3-2-1 method. Look around and name 5 things you can see. It could be your desk, a pen, a picture on the wall, anything. Then, focus on 4 things you can feel: the chair beneath you, the fabric of your clothes, the temperature of the air. Next, listen for 3 things you can hear: the hum of your computer, distant traffic, your own breathing. Then, identify 2 things you can smell. And finally, 1 thing you can taste. This exercise forces your brain to focus on sensory information, pulling it out of the emotional chaos and back into physical reality. Now that you're calm and present, it's time to re-engage your thinking brain. The goal is to shift from emotional reactivity to logical problem solving. A powerful way to do this is to ask yourself one simple question: what is the one thing I can control right now? In a crisis, so much feels out of our hands. Panicked people focus on everything they can't change. The calm operator focuses on what they can. Maybe you can't stop the stock market from crashing, but you can review your own portfolio and make a plan. Maybe you can't calm down your angry boss, but you can control your own response and choose your words carefully. By narrowing your focus to a single, actionable step, you reclaim a sense of agency. This tiny bit of control is often enough to break the paralysis of panic and start moving forward. Let's talk about preparation. The calmest people in a crisis aren't magically immune to stress. They're just better prepared. Think of a firefighter. They run into burning buildings while everyone else runs out. Why? Because they have trained for it over and over and over again. They have drilled procedures until they are second nature. This is called stress inoculation. By exposing yourself to manageable levels of stress in a controlled environment, you build up your resilience. You can practice this in your own life. Before a big presentation, practice in front of friends. Before a difficult conversation, role-play it with someone you trust. Visualize the challenging situation and walk through your ideal response step by step. The more you practice, the more familiar the situation will feel, and the less likely your panic alarm will go off when the real thing happens. Your brain will recognize it and think, "Oh, I've seen this before. I know what to do." Another crucial mindset shift is to detach your ego from the outcome. Panic is often fueled by fear of failure, fear of looking stupid, or fear of what others will think. We get so wrapped up in our own performance that we lose sight of the actual problem. The precise operator focuses on the process, not the applause. They ask, "What is the next right action?" Not "How do I look right now?" This detachment allows you to see the situation objectively. It's like being a surgeon. A surgeon can't afford to get emotionally overwhelmed by the life or death stakes. They have to focus with cold precision on the task at hand, the next incision, the next suture. By adopting this task-oriented focus, you move beyond fear and into a state of effective action. Your goal isn't to be a hero, it's to solve the problem. Let's also consider the power of perspective. A crisis often feels like the end of the world because our focus becomes incredibly narrow. It's all we can see. To regain your cool, you need to zoom out. Ask yourself, in 5 years, will this matter? How about in 1 year, or even 1 month? Most of the time, the answer is no. This question isn't meant to diminish the problem, but to put it in its proper context. It helps you realize that this moment of intense pressure is temporary. It will pass. This mental zooming out creates emotional distance, allowing you to see the bigger picture and approach the problem with a more balanced perspective instead of getting sucked into the immediate drama. Remember that physical state dramatically influences mental state. Are you hungry, tired, or dehydrated? These basic biological needs can drastically lower your threshold for panic. Think about it. It is much harder to stay calm and rational when your blood sugar is low and you haven't slept. This is why self-care isn't a luxury. It's a fundamental part of performance. Prioritizing sleep, eating nutritious food, and staying hydrated are some of the most powerful things you can do to build a foundation of resilience. Think of it as preloading your system with calmness. When a crisis hits, you'll have the physical and mental resources to handle it instead of starting from a deficit. Finally, the ultimate level of calm precision comes from accepting chaos. The world is an unpredictable place. Things will go wrong, people will panic, plans will fail. Trying to control everything is a surefire recipe for anxiety. The truly composed individual doesn't expect perfection. Instead, they expect friction and are prepared to adapt. They embrace the motto of the Special Forces: improvise, adapt, and overcome. This mindset shifts you from being a victim of circumstance to being a creative problem solver. When the unexpected happens, you don't freeze. Instead, a part of you thinks, "Okay, this is different. How can I use this? What's the new plan?" This acceptance and adaptability is the hallmark of someone who can not only survive chaos, but thrive in it. So let's recap the path to cold precision. First, control your physiology with your breath. Use the box breath to calm your nervous system. Second, ground yourself in the present with the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. Third, regain control by asking, "What's the one thing I can do right now?" Fourth, prepare and practice through stress inoculation. Fifth, detach your ego and focus on the task, not the outcome. Sixth, gain perspective by zooming out. Seventh, manage your physical state through basic self-care. And finally, accept chaos and learn to adapt. Mastering these skills won't happen overnight. It takes practice. Start small. The next time you feel a wave of frustration or anxiety, try one of these techniques. Notice how it feels. The more you practice when the stakes are low, the more instinctual it will become when the stakes are high. You are building a new mental muscle. You are training yourself to be the person who holds it together, who thinks clearly, and who leads the way when everyone else is lost in the fog of panic. That is a true superpower. Thank you for watching, and if you found this helpful, be sure to like and subscribe for more content on mastering your mind. See you in the next one.